Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you so much for joining me for this brand new interview. I have someone very special today. You see, this man right here has done so many things in the professional wrestling world, especially recently when he made his appearance on AEW Dark, along with Calvin Stewart, representing Buffalo's own, as he's as aiming at the camera.
Calvin Stewart. Shout out Calvin Stewart.
Of course. And not only that, but I'm talking to someone who's not only just been famous on AEW Dark and AEW appearances, of course, appearing as the quote unquote best man, Kip Sabian, but also I'm talking to someone that is also famous for the North and the East Coast professional wrestling scene as well. So enough of the preliminaries, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, let me introduce you to the one and only PUF. How are you?
I'm good. I wouldn't consider myself famous. You're calling me famous. I don't know about that. But I've known around the block. A couple people say what's up to me if they see me on the street. Yeah, I am PUF indeed. I do wrestling and quote unquote wrestling, and that's pretty much the only thing I do now in pandemic times. Besides that, not much else.
Well, I mean, he does have a podcast, which you guys could check out as well, called the PUFcast, something that's so awesome indeed. He also appears on the YouTube channel for Megabyte Ronnie as a part of the Beverage Barons, where they try out some different beverages, such as the Sonic right there. And he also has a great cinematic magic of Megabyte Ronnie, which you could definitely check out as well. But PUF is doing some big things in 2020, despite a pandemic.
Despite a pandemic, I'm trying my best, man. The pandemic, it's a real bummer, to say the least. It's not fun. And trying my best. At the beginning of it, I was not doing good. I was doing good right before the pandemic. Pandemic starts, not doing too good. Mid-pandemic, me and Ronnie start hanging out, banging out workouts, drinking some beverages, putting out content. Shit starts going up. We go to AEW. It's been positive ever since. I'm in a good mental health headspace, which is always, honestly, of the utmost importance. Just living life, baby. Trying to stay safe. I have at least 4 hand sanitizers by my side right now. Look at this. I got a hand. All I did was reach down into my passenger seat. 4 different consistencies of hand sanitizer. Like, I got the unicorn foam from Bath and Body Works, watermelon lemonade, Japanese cherry blossom, and vanilla coconut. Take your pick. I got 2 separate masks, both homemade by my wonderful mother. This one has Kevin Blackwood on it, and the other one's got sugar skulls.
Nice.
You got to wear a mask. If anyone listening, I know we're only like 2 minutes in. If anyone takes anything away from this podcast, wear a. Can I swear?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
I'm kind of a loose cannon. I swear. Wear a fucking mask. It's so simple. Just put it on. I'm not trying to catch coronavirus.
Right.
Anyway. Sock Monkey Mike, I totally don't even remember what the question was. I started going off.
No. I didn't ask the question yet. But the question now we're talking about it is that I always start these interviews off with what I like to call a spitball or fireball question. And you know what? Since you showed off the little hand sanitizers there, which is your favorite out of the ones you have?
Oh man, of the ones I have, I gotta go with it depends on the mood. And this is something, we're getting into hot topics here. I'm talking about soap and hand sanitizer. And like always, I got all sorts of different bed. Oh my God. Excuse me. It's Bath and Body Works. I always mix it up with Bed Bath and Beyond. It's triple B's, but then you throw a W in. You got BBW, Bed Bath and Beyond, or what is it? Bath and Body Works. Shout out BBW. Shout out BBWs. Plural. They got all sorts of scents and smells. They're all delicious. And I've found that a certain scent or soap, hand sanitizer can put you in a different mood. Like, it was like a month ago, I pulled out a winter candy apple from BBW, hand soap, and all of a sudden I smelled it, and I was like, it's August, but man, I wish it was Christmas time. I want to listen to some Mariah Carey. I want to eat some Christmas cookies. Oh man, I just want to rock around the Christmas tree. So I don't know if I can pick a favorite. It's just like it depends on the mood, but I do really like this spray one, this watermelon lemonade. If I had to pick watermelon lemonade from BBW spray, the spray is a very I'll spray some right now for you.
Okay.
It gets around your hands a lot. Well, it gets around well on your hands. I don't know if I'm using the proper words. I'm a psychopath, man. I'm all over the joint.
No, you're
That
no, you're
answers the question.
yeah, you're good, my friend. And yeah, and one thing I do want to mention as well is the fact that Puff is not just a professional wrestler, but he's also a hero outside the ring as well.
I'm a hero, I guess. Why am I a hero, Sock Monkey Mike?
Well, no, because you bring people together, whether it's at any wrestling event or whether it's on television in front of no fans except for the roster of the AEW faithful. I mean, you bring that people together, and you bring not just grown men and grown people, but you also bring kids together watching wrestling whenever you're out there performing.
You know what? I never think of it that way. I mean, I don't ever think of myself as a hero, but I do have a lot of people in a lot of different age groups, a lot of people from all walks of life that are big fans of me, and they like what I do in between the ropes. And I think that's really cool. I just had someone DMing me about I'm a big proponent of being an ally to everyone. I think, especially in wrestling, it should be all inclusive. So I had a message from someone in the UK, actually, in England, who I've never wrestled there. But he messaged me thanking me for, because I have pink. My main colors in my gear are pink, blue, and white, and like yellow sometimes. But I have this gear that's pink and blue, and I had shared a picture of it. And it's very similar to the colors of the trans flag, the like LGBTQ plus A. I don't know exactly the letters, and I'm not trying to be offensive in any way, because I try to be all inclusive with everything I say, and I believe everyone should have equal rights, no matter what. I don't think it's anyone's business what people do or how they live their life. And he was like saying thank you for just because he had seen me post positively about it, and I'm like, dude, there's no need to thank me. Like, I don't know. It should just be common sense. I don't know. So I thought that was really cool. He's like, he messaged me and said that there's a lot of wrestlers who wouldn't be cool with having a gay fan base, and I was like, but I don't know who that would be, but fuck whoever that is. I don't know. If people like me, that's cool as shit. Like, I'm still in a phase, and I don't know if I'll ever get out of the phase of like, it's insane that people like what I do so much so that they buy my shirts, buy stuff, and like support me and follow me, and I don't know. It's very cool, right? This wrestling thing that I do. So I'm very appreciative of anyone and everyone who supports me.
Of course. And speaking about Puff and his professional wrestling career, I do want to talk about your beginnings in pro wrestling. So, if I may ask, what was that beginning process like for you?
Oh man, I wasn't going anywhere in life. I didn't have any aspirations. I was working at a pretty shitty job. It was definitely a pyramid scheme, but it was somehow legit. It was like I had found the job on Craigslist, and it was like a salesman position. And basically, what it was, the only way I can describe how the whole operation worked was a pyramid scheme. But they were selling legit things, like they were selling DirecTV packages in like big box stores like Sam's Club and BJ's, and I don't know if these are regional stores, but big wholesale stores selling DirecTV packages. And so I was just doing that. It was just dead end jobs, that I was just like, I don't give a shit if I get fired. I'll just pick another random job. Who knows what I'm gonna do? I had dropped out of college after a semester because it sucked, and so I was just living life kind of shitty, doing that job. And then a couple of buddies of mine who had originally introduced me to wrestling when I was younger had started training at this with this random dude. He ended up not being the most professional, but I started coming around and watching them train. And just from that, I started getting in the ring with them. And then that, I don't want to go on this whole tangent. So that just transitioned to me going to a better school in Grapplers Anonymous here in Buffalo, the premier pro wrestling school, I'd say, in Buffalo, New York, and the Western New York surrounding areas. Sorry, excuse me, goodness. And just the ball got rolling at Grapplers Anonymous, and here I am.
Absolutely. And when you talk about Buffalo, that's a very, very, in my opinion, the wrestling city, because you see a lot of professional wrestlers coming from there, from Kevin Blackwood to, Danny Garcia. Shout out to those individuals, as well as the Butcher and the Blade, Andy Williams, and the Blade Braxton Sutter, which, of course, you did face on AEW Dark. But before we get into that, can you talk about just, training with the likes of those individuals, and just knowing that they started from where you started and going all the way to the big place like AEW Dark and other promotions?
Yeah, I mean, training with them is awesome. I know I wrestled them on AEW, but they are two of my best friends, on the planet. Andy and the Blade trained me. There was a long period of time before stuff started popping with AEW for them, where he was doing weekly trainings at Grapplers, and I'm very thankful for those trainings when he would come around, because he really sharpened the iron of the younger Buffalo crew. If you came to his weekly training, you were going to get better, because he could watch you wrestle and pinpoint some of your weak points, point them out, and then he'd put you through a drill that would specifically work on that and make you better. And that's what I felt. That's how I felt about his training. He could find anything that you're not doing too hot on, and come up with a drill that would specifically make you better at whatever you were struggling with. And it was just great. It was a good time. We would all post weekly shirtless pictures together. And honestly, I don't know who I was talking to recently. That started getting things popping off for me. Just me being in those pictures, shirtless. People were just fascinated by the big man who's got his hands over his nipples, kneeling down in front of everybody like a big goofball. But yeah, those were good times.
Absolutely. And, of course, when you did that training and you had that beginnings and getting to know all these people, it's awesome just to see that, knowing that they ended up on the same path as you and kind of seeing them in other promotions that you're a part of. I think it's absolutely amazing, especially when they're family.
Oh, for sure. For sure. Going around traveling, we traveled up the roads together, all over Canada, Montreal, Quebec, Ottawa, Barrie, Hamilton, Toronto, and then going out to all the way to Portland, Maine, all over Massachusetts, working for big promotions like Beyond and C4. It's crazy. It's just something. It's all always so crazy to me, because it's just, I never imagined it. I never planned on it. I never had my heart set on doing it, but it just happened, and I'm rolling with it, and it's badass,
Of course. And that's actually a word that I use whenever I see the Butcher and the Blade come out on AEW Dark. But speaking about PUF, I do want to talk about where your passion for professional wrestling came from. Was it something since birth, or where did it come from?
I've been asked that question a few times, and I hate to give the answer, because it was never, ever something I was passionate about. It was It was not something I like. Like I said, it's not something I plan on doing. It was not. I was never the biggest wrestling fan. I only watched wrestling. I only got into wrestling in like 2005. Probably stopped watching around like 2008. Then I was like hit or miss. I'd go over to a buddy's house to watch a pay-per-view every once in a while, but I was never paying my full attention to it. But like when I started coming around to see my buddies training, I don't know what it was in me that just I saw it as like an avenue to entertain people, and I think that's something I've always been passionate about. I've always wanted to be like the class clown. I wanted to make people laugh. I wanted to entertain people, no matter however I could do it. I wanted to entertain people, and I think that's what drew me to wrestling: the entertainment aspect of it, being able to go in front of crowds and get reactions from people, make them smile, make them laugh, get them riled up. I don't know. It's just. So, I think since birth, I've always wanted to entertain people, and wrestling has given me a platform to do so.
Absolutely,
so
and
that's why I'm passionate about wrestling, because it's given me that platform.
Absolutely. Do you think it's hard now, especially during a time when there's no crowds in the audience?
To entertain people?
Yeah.
Honestly, not really. I mean, it's less. I don't know the right word. It's less like in person, but I think still through the camera lens. I think it still radiates through there. Just from paying attention to the like obviously I was watching every comment when my match debuted on AEW Dark to see the people's reaction for the stuff I was doing. So I just think it's a different kind of I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, but it's just the only difference is that they're at home instead of in the crowd. Like I think of it as the same way. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I mean, not much has changed. It's less interactive, I guess. I don't know. I don't even know if that's the right word. But
Of course. Yeah, and of course, your goal is to entertain and to make people smile, whether that's through physically, in crowds, or if it's on YouTube where you're the most trending on AEW Dark.
trying, man, just shaking my hips, beating up the blade. I don't know. But it's what I do.
Of course. And of course, I did forget to mention that Puff is a former BW3 Pistols champion. So I do want to ask you about that. What was it like getting that championship?
I think it's the only. No, it's the only championship belt title I've won in my illustrious 3-year career. However, I was the longest reigning. Oh man, I got text messages coming in from the Buffalo Brothers group chat, and they all have exclamation points. So I'm excited to see what those are saying. I can't read them popping up, and they're just distracting me. Oh my God, they're saying like insane exclamation point, exclamation point. There's a picture. Who knows what's happening in the group chat right now? But besides that point, man, hold on. I'll come back to it. I'm trying to remember what you asked.
The question was
Barry Wrestling 3 Pistols Championship. I called it the Tres Pistolas Championship. I was the longest reigning in Barry Wrestling's history. The thing with that title, again, my goal in wrestling is just to have fun. It's just to have fun. And I had so much fun being the 3 Pistols champion because the rules as 3 Pistols champion are that every match is to be contested under triple threat rules, which are no DQ, no rope break, no. I don't know the fucking rules. No count out. All I know is there's no count out and no disqualification. So I took that and used it to my full advantage in every Three Pistols match I had. I defended the title. I defended the title in Montreal. I defended it in different promotions. I brought it with me everywhere I went. I brought it to, it's a title for Barrie Wrestling in Barrie, Ontario, Canada.
Mm-hmm.
But I brought it with me when I was doing a general manager gimmick at this promotion called Revenge in Erie, Pennsylvania. I defended it against another wrestler, Mark Wheeler, in Montreal in a crazy match we had. And then I defended it in all sorts of crazy matches all around Barrie. And they run in a church in Barrie, Ontario. And I just went all over that building. So many hot dogs were wasted. I tried to kill a man. That same man, Mark Wheeler, he's got a gluten allergy, and I tried to shove a hot dog in his mouth, bun and all. I tried to kill him. There's no rules when you're fighting for the Three Pistols Championship. And unfortunately, at the last Barrie show that I wrestled at, I was in a triple threat match. I lost the title because the third person was pinned. The other two guys. It was a wrestler named BMD and Pretty Ricky Wilde. Pretty Ricky was pinned by BMD. And I lost the title. I guess those are the rules. They may not be fair in my eyes, but I certainly use the rules to my advantage, and I paid the ultimate price. But it was a good time being Three Pistols champion, and I never got my rematch, so hopefully if this pandemic ever ends, which I'm not certain it will, especially in my country, which is America. Oh, you're in America as well. Our country. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm very scared for the next month and a half or so. I don't know what's going to happen, but whatever happens is going to change the future of this country, of the world possibly, and it's nerve-wracking. So who knows if I'll ever get my rematch for the Barrie Wrestling Three Pistols title, man.
Well, you'll definitely get that rematch, man. You'll definitely get that rematch.
No, stop, Sock Monkey Mike. How do you know? You do not know that.
I'm trying to give you motivation, Pop.
I just went on for an hour about how it's not gonna happen, how it may not happen, and then you're just like, oh no, it will for certain. Stop it, Sock Monkey Mike.
Well, all jokes aside, I do want to talk about before your AEW Dark Appearance. I want to talk about being Kip Sabian's quote best man on AEW. You had appeared on AEW for the first time ever when Kip Sabian had announced you as the best man, but it turned out to be Miro instead. So I do want to talk about what was that moment like for you to, well, there was no music at the point, so which that kind of confused us fans, but what was that moment like for you?
You know, it was cool because I had met Kip Sabian for the first time the night before, and we got to chatting, and he was telling me how I was the best man. And so when he announced his best man coming out, I just ran out there. And then it's kind of embarrassing to happen on live TV where he tells you that you're not the best man, and then this dude Miro shows up and he's the best man, and I don't know. It was embarrassing a little, but you know, he did eventually invite me to the wedding, so hopefully, I'm a big fan of romantic gestures and grand expressions of love, such as weddings. So it'll be cool to see those two share their love for each other in a beautiful ceremony on Dynamite. I believe it's going down. So there's no bad blood. I'm happy for him.
Absolutely, and I'm really expecting Puff to bring the glizzies to the to the wedding event.
The glizzies. I'm not the hot dog guy. That's Megabyte Ronnie.
Well, of course, or some sort of beverage. You know what I mean? Some sort of some sort of beverages.
I'll bring some DDP and creams, some Diet Dr Pepper and cream sodas. Of course, it'll have zero sugar in the beverage. We'll see. Who knows?
Okay. Okay. And then speaking about AEW, I do want to talk about your AEW tag team match that you had against the Butcher and the Blade alongside Calvin Stewart. So I got to ask, I mean, the Titantron pops up, here comes Adona, and in comes Puff. I got to ask, how were you told what song you were going to have, or what was the idea behind that?
Oh man, I had no idea what my Titantron was going to be. I had no idea what music was going to come out or play. I just knew I was going to go out there, and I knew I was wrestling the Butcher and the Blade. So, I mean, I was just vibing. You know, I was in the same headspace I usually am whenever I wrestle. So, I always come out happy. I always come out dancing. So I just went out there with the big stew, something stewing, Calvin Stewart, Big Cal by my side. We went out there. I just started shaking my hips, having a good time like I always do. And I didn't see the Titantron at the time. I only saw the Titantron when it debuted on Dark because I didn't look backwards and see it at all. I was just doing me. And the music was nice. It had a good vibe to it. I was rocking and rolling. And then Andy and Pepper just jumped our asses right off the bat. Very uncool. And then I had to sit there. I had to stay. I followed the rules, so I had to stand there and watch Cal get his butt kicked, and then Eddie Kingston get involved on the outside. I tried to point it out to the ref. The ref obviously didn't see it, but luckily, Big Stu turned it around, tagged your boy in. I lit up the Blade. I'll say that I lit him up a little bit. Then there was a blind tag. I didn't see it. Andy came out of nowhere, started jumping me, but then I turned it around on him. Then he hits me with a big old cross body, and that took a lot of wind out of me. So I tagged Big Stu in. Stu was 100% again. He recuperates quickly, so he was ready to go. But unfortunately, the Butcher was right there to toss him in and hit him with a full death. It was a rough go, unsuccessful. But I'll get him next time, I guess. I don't know. It was what are you gonna do?
Well, of course, and you also did hit the very famous whip.
World renowned whip punch, brother.
Yeah. So, I mean, was that something on the spot, or was it something that you've been preparing for a long time?
You know, it's a deadly move. It's a deadly maneuver that I have in my repertoire, and it was just something that I got to pull this out. It's AEW. I got to hit him with it. This is my chance to get a big W in the big company. I hit Pepper with my butt. It's also a weapon of mass destruction. Got him all worked up. I don't know what I'm saying now. I just found the opportunity. I hit him with it. Rocked him, and so it goes.
Absolutely. Well, once again, Puff, I do want to thank you so much for being on and getting the chance to talk to me. But before we go, I do have one more segment. It's called 3 Fun Questions, where I just give you some 3 fun, vibing questions so we can vibe to it. So the first question I have for you is, out of everybody that you have faced thus far in your career, favorite opponent and why?
You know, I got to go with Joey Ryan. And let me tell you why. I'm kidding. Fuck Joey Ryan, man. Damn. Of all, oh man, that's a good question. I don't know. I always say I have so much fun with Pretty Ricky Wilde. He's a wrestler who's from Canada, works a lot in Barrie, Hamilton, Toronto, the Ontario wrestling world. He's all over it. He's such a crazy character, and I mean, I've said this before other places. I don't know where I've said it. I just know I say it a lot. Whenever I get into the ring with Pretty Ricky Wilde, like there's just magic in the air. Things happen that I never expected to happen. I always end up laughing my butt off and having to try and hide my face because I'm just having so much fun. I have this match, that wasn't supposed to be a match. It was supposed to be a dance party. Me and my tag partner, Sexy Eddie. I don't know if you're familiar with him. He's a deathmatch legend. Canadian legend. He's just a legend. He's the epitome of a legend, Sexy Eddie. And me and him are tagging in this promotion called C4 in Ottawa. And we had scheduled a sexy dance party. And we had this whole dance routine. We were going to do the Chris Farley, Patrick Swayze, Chippendale's dance routine. And then Pretty Ricky interrupted it. And that broke down into him bringing out this guy named the Hot Stepper, McCrae. And there was a impromptu tag match. And it went all over the place. It was so much fun. We were supposed to be out there for like 12 minutes. It ended up being things happened. The entire crowd started singing "I Will Survive." I just recommend watching it. It was so much fun to be a part of. It's one of my favorite matches I've ever had. And you can find it on IWTV under the promotion C4. You can use my promo code to get a free membership. My promo code's PUF is God. I'm not trying to plug myself. I do want people to see that match because it's so much fun. But God, I gotta say, Pretty Ricky. I know I have fun every match though. I have a lot of fun doing things with all sorts of opponents, but just the matches I've had with Pretty Ricky and the moments we make have stuck out to me the most.
Absolutely. And then now the second question I have out of the three is worst beverage reviewed.
Oh man, I think it's got to be, at least so far, Diet Virgil's root beer. It was pretty terrible. I believe me and Ronnie both gave it a pretty scathing review. I don't think either of us gave it more than a 3. So out of 10, definitely that. But worst beverage that I don't know if we haven't reviewed it, but I hate like LaCroix. I'm not a fan of LaCroix, like sparkling waters. They just taste like there's flavor across the street. So not a fan of those. So if we ever do, and like they are sugar free though, so then we might have a LaCroix on an episode of the Beverage Barons. Hopefully not, but you never know. And that'll probably get a negative number from me. So worst beverages, definitely LaCroix.
All right, awesome. And then finally, at the third and final question, this is the most controversial question of all time, and that is: do pineapples belong on pizza?
That's crazy you asked that, because before this, I was actually listening to a podcast, AEW Unrestricted. How fitting, with the Butcher and the Blade, and someone asked them, "Do pineapples belong on pizza?" I worked in a pizzeria. I've only eaten pineapple on pizza one time, and it was from the pizzeria I worked at, and it was cold, and it was not good. However, I'm sure somewhere out there's a place that makes a better pineapple pizza that I just haven't tried. I don't think I'm qualified to answer, to be honest, because I haven't tried it, and I don't think anyone should give their opinion on something they haven't tried. I don't know. There's some things that I guess you could. I don't know. I'm fucking losing it. I don't know. Pineapple. If you want pineapple on pizza, if you like it, I'm not going to tell you not to. Do what makes you happy.
Of course. Well, Pup, I do want to thank you so much for being a part of this interview, and thank you so much for taking your time out of your busy day. But for those who don't know, you can follow Puff on all social medias. I don't have the banner for that, but it's on Instagram at Puff is God, and of course on Twitter, I believe it's the same thing. And also, make sure you guys check out the Puffcast. Make sure you guys go check that out. Of course, as well as Beverage Barons, which you can find on YouTube at Megabyte Ronnie. But also, this man is on AEW, on a, almost a consistent basis. Make sure you guys go check out his tag team match along with Calvin Stewart. Make sure you guys go check that out as well. And of course, I'll even throw this in there. Make sure you guys go check out the most legendary cinematic match of all time between himself and Megabyte Ronnie, which I thought was absolutely amazing.
Let me also add, my Venmo is the same. It's Puff is God, if anyone wants to send me.
And of course, donate to everybody's favorite professional wrestler. So thank you guys so much, and I will see you guys in the next interview.